Well, good morning, welcome, and thank you for coming to the State of the Town here in Fountain Hills. It's a chilly, little wet morning, but I appreciate everyone coming out this morning. We were going to do this at 7 o'clock, but we figured we'd let you sleep in till 8 o'clock this morning. So if you haven't already done so, there's some food along the back, coffee is in the back corner, so if you need some extra caffeine this morning, go ahead and head toward the back. And that's kind of where I want to start. I just want to start with thanking Mountain View Kitchen and Jennifer Ward. Their team is the ones who got here early this morning, put all of the food and coffee out. And then I also want to thank our community center staff. They were working throughout the day yesterday and even early this morning, making sure the room was clean and everything was good to go for this morning. So my name is Mike Pelton. I'm the Community Relations Director here with the town of Fountain Hills. My main role this morning is just to set the bar really low so that the mayor can walk over it. Fake laughter, I'll take it. But before we begin the presentation, I want to ask everyone, if you're able, to stand and we'll recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll take just a minute here. I know the mayor is going to recognize some of our former mayors and council members, but I do want to certainly give a shout out to some of our dignitaries and other elected officials who are here in the room with us today. We have Maricopa County Sheriff Jerry Sheridan. Let's see, right there to the left. Apache Junction Mayor Chip Wilson. Is he right there in the front? Another new mayor, Mark Freeman, mayor of Mesa. Congratulations, Mayor. I believe we have a couple of folks from El Mirage, Vice Mayor Jacqueline Parsons. Thank you. And El Mirage Council member Scotty Gentry. Representing Congressman David Schweikert is District Representative Chris Wiley. In the back. We have our Municipal Court Judge, Robert Melton. I believe he's here with us this morning. Somewhere. Then we have current State Senator John Kavanaugh, who's also a former councilman, so he might get recognized twice. And then I also want to recognize our current council. We'll start with Vice Mayor Hannah Toth. Councilman Rick Watts. Councilwoman Gail Earle. Councilwoman Brenda Kalvianakis. Councilwoman Peggy McMahon. And Councilman Alan Skillicorn. And then more broadly, I do want to recognize, I know there's several in attendance, but some of the members of our various boards and commissions who are here this morning, the Fountain Hills Chamber of Commerce, which is a big part of this community, and then our fantastic utility partners, which would include EPCOR, Cox Communications, Republic Services, and of course our sponsor, Salt River Project. And Salt River Project has been delivering reliable and affordable water and power since 1903. Salt River Project is a community-based nonprofit organization providing affordable water and power to more than 2 million people in central Arizona. And that's going to bring us to our next speaker. Patricia DeRoss has been a senior local government relations representative for Salt River Project for nearly 19 years. She serves on multiple chambers of commerce public policy committees across the 8 municipalities that she covers. She was born and raised on the mean streets of South Scottsdale, over in Scottsdale. Prior to working at Salt River Project, Patricia worked as a reporter, anchor, and weather anchor at WJBK in Detroit and KPHO, that's Channel 5, here in the Valley over in Phoenix. So with that, let's welcome Patricia DeRoss.
Good morning, Fountain Hills. I like to do the reference that I am from South Scottsdale, because there was no North Scottsdale above Shea when I was growing up. Well, it's a pleasure to be here this morning for Mayor Friedell's inaugural State of the Town. I'd like to personally thank the mayor and the council, as well as the town staff, for working so hard to put this on, of course, as well as all of the people who made this facility ready for today. I know it's a lot of hard work, and we appreciate you coordinating this morning. As he said, since 1903, we've been a community-based, not-for-profit organization delivering reliable, affordable power and water for the Valley. And like Fountain Hills, SRP leadership and staff have worked very hard to provide top-notch customer service. In fact, just this month, J.D. Power announced that SRP again ranked first in customer satisfaction among large utilities in the western U.S. And that's the 25th time that we've received that distinction and the 23rd consecutive year. So we're very proud of that, and we thank you for helping us achieve that ranking. Over the next decade, SRP will have to work hard to maintain our customer satisfaction in addition to meeting our increased customer load growth needs. So we are very proud to be longstanding partners with the town of Fountain Hills and appreciate the opportunity to participate this morning. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Patricia. And you can see her afterwards for discounts on your summer heating bill. Cooling bill, I should say. But I think you're tired of listening to me. I think it's that time. So I'd say drum roll, please, but can we get a little tapping on the table? Anybody? All right, go easy on him. It's his first time. Let's go ahead and bring up Mayor Jerry Friedell.
Thank you. It's amazing what free food does. I was going to start out by saying, people say I'm very serious and that I need to have a joke to warm up the crowd a little bit. Mike stole my first joke. I was going to say that, Patricia, there was a rumor running around that you were going to decrease bills by about 25%. So I can't use that. So I got another one for you. Why did the politician get on a plane? He wanted to see his career take off. Welcome, Fountain Hills. I'm truly honored and humbled to be standing in front of you today. I have a little mayor's statement that I'm going to read first. I think it's important that we all understand where we're headed and what we need to do for this town. So, in welcoming everybody to Fountain Hills, let me start by saying we all have different goals. Those goals translate to different outcomes. This is what makes people different. However, we all have one goal. That same goal is to do what's best for our town. You see, great leaders know that success is achieved when the whole team survives and thrives, not just one person. Let me repeat that. The whole team thrives, not just one person. We need to move forward as a town and work together for our town. We have the pledge of each one of these council members to do just that, to work together for the best of this town. Working together benefits all areas of our town, our businesses, the Chamber of Commerce, our school district, and ultimately the residents of our town. Again, I think it's really important that we don't deal in drama. We send the drama down to the theater. Is there anybody here from the theater? The theater deals in drama. We have town business to conduct, and we need to do that. So, again, the pledge of all of our council members is to get that done. So we pledge to do that for you. And I'm going to take a minute now and introduce some of the past elected officials from our town. We have former council member and State Senator John Kavanaugh. I think John had to leave. He had a session that he had to get to. We've got former Mayor Jay Schlum. We have former council member Cecil Yates is in the room, I believe. Cecil? Former council member Honorable Enrique Melendez. And I'd like to take a second and just introduce the town attorney, Aaron Aronson, sitting right over here. Thank you. I think Captain Larry Kratzer is here from MCSO. And also our esteemed fire chief, Captain Dave Ott. Chief Ott. Thank you. So let me take a second and just also make some comments about our staff. You know, the staff of this town, they do the heavy lifting. We set policy. The staff runs your town. This is your town. Your staff runs this town for you. So I want to give a little shout out to some new staff members that we have here. Is Brandon here from Parks? He's probably out working in the parks. So Brandon is a new employee who's in charge of our parks department. Paul Solinger. Paul's our finance director. Paul, I never met anybody before that can take a nickel and turn it into a dollar, but Paul is very good at forecasting and keeping our budget tight and keeping an eye on the purse strings. So Paul, we really appreciate your addition to our staff. You do a great job for us. Thank you. We have a new town clerk, Candace French Contreras. Candace, I want to thank you for being highly organized, detailed, and really getting a lot of work done behind the scenes. You don't see her out in public. She does a lot of work for this town, so thank you, Candace. I really appreciate you. And you met Mike. You can't miss him when you walk into a room. Mike Pelton's our new CIO. Mike brings a fresh look at what we're doing and has improved a lot of details and things that we're doing right now. And before I forget, we have former Mayor Linda Cavanaugh in the room. Linda. Thank you for your past service to our town, Linda, and we appreciate that sincerely. So, having introduced our town staff, I want to also tell people an experience that was shared at our council meeting. We had a town staffer, a parks person, who made a difference in a person's life in this town. Where do you get that? Sincerely, we have staff that goes above and beyond in a lot of cases, and they made a difference in a person's life this past weekend. So we have good staff. Now I'd like to move on and talk about some of the projects that we have ongoing in our town. I know roads is a big thing for people. So we are currently spending about $5.2 million in road construction right now in this town. Some of the streets that we're working on are soon to be slated to be worked on this year are Gunsight Drive, Ridgeway, Winchester, and Trevino and Nicholas Drive. Again, that's $5.2 million. And I know I'm going a little off script by adding in that we are going to try and get Palomino Drive, which is a big cause of concern in this town. That we're going to try and do after July. That'll be on the next budget year, but it's a big road, it's a big artery in this town, and it's a mess, and we realize that, so we're taking your comments and your questions seriously, so that's going to be added to our list to get that done. Next on my list of things to go over is washes. This town realizes that the washes are an issue. We don't want what's happening in California to happen here. I have myself physically been down in at least a half a dozen of these washes. I've seen the size and the scope of the operation that has to be done. At the last council meeting, this council gave an additional $140,000 in funding to help clean up these washes and cut that time frame down. It's serious, and we realize that. We also test our fire hydrants. Our fire hydrants are tested by EPCOR as well as our fire department. We have a top-notch fire department here. We privatized that fire department about a year ago. They just celebrated their year anniversary. And I really have to give kudos to former Mayor Ginny Dickey. She was the one that really spearheaded part of that process to bring the fire department in-house. And you know what? I'm glad we did that. I would always vote for that. We have our own fire protection now, and we're not cutting it down. We're here. They're here to service us, and they do a great job. Chief Ott, I hope you spread my message to the rest of the department. Next on my list is also related to washes. It's the Golden Eagle flood control. I don't know if you've driven by Golden Eagle Park recently. There's a major project going on up there. There's actually the confluence of 3 washes that empty right behind Golden Eagle Park. Several years ago, we had probably just under $1 million worth of work that we had to remediate at our ball fields and our park there. And I'm talking literally ton after ton after ton of sediment and debris on those fields. That is an asset to the town. We draw a lot of people in there for tournaments and on those fields all the time. They're busy every weekend. So this project, we're actually building a big pond back there that will slow this water down and keep it from breaking through the dam on the other side and getting out all over the fields. And it's also good for the neighborhood that lives right behind that dam as well. So this is a multi-million-dollar project that we're putting in there, and there's a reason we're doing that. Again, it's to protect our amenities in this town, and I think the people are going to appreciate it when it's all said and done. And we're also putting in a pedestrian bridge back there as well to connect the 2 parks. So again, a big project, a lot of work, and hopefully we get it done before the next major rain event because it's been needed for some time. The next thing on my list of project that's going on in town, this is really exciting news. So one of the first things I did as mayor of this town is I reached out to the developers of Park Place and had a conversation with them and said, look, we really want to finish our downtown area. It's huge for all of our businesses, our residents, and everything else that makes it a thriving downtown arena. So I have a statement I'm going to read. This is from Shay Connolly. And I don't know if Bart Shea's in the room or not. I know Cecil Yates is. If you have questions for them after the meeting, they'll be around. You can ask them some further questions. But Shay Connolly Development has received a construction loan term sheet and is working through our due diligence with the lender. As the due diligence continues to go well, we anticipate the loan closing by the end of March. Construction should start within the month of April on Phase 2, which is Building B, which would be ready for leasing by mid-2026. And Phase 3, Buildings E and F, those will be the ones on the avenue, would be ready for leasing by the end of 2026, early 2027. This is so huge for our town. It will complete our downtown. It is a big project, along with the next project that I'm going to talk about. These are 2 projects that are going to really set this town apart from a lot of communities. So again, kudos to Shea Development for getting this done. We anticipate a shovel in the ground soon, and it will really help with our downtown area. So thank you for your statement on that, Cecil. So the next project, as everybody is aware, is our International Dark Sky Discovery Center. That's a 23,000 square foot facility, offering educational opportunities as well as tourism for this town. The tourism part is really huge for this town, especially for all the businesses that are in this town. And I particularly like it because of the sales tax revenue that we might generate from those visitors coming into our town. And it is truly international in scope. There'll be people in here from all over the world. If you weren't out for the planetary dome being placed, they had a 500-ton crane come in, and I think there were probably 500 or 600 people that were there for the viewing of that. So it was really something. I'd never seen anything like that before, and I think they had to flatbed that crane in on a couple of 2 or 3 semis to get it done. So pretty cool. So they also have another dome that's going to be placed, the observatory dome. That's been fabricated, and it's expected to be placed on top of its foundation in early February. So look for details on that. They're fundraising. They've got 550 donors from 20 states and Canada. So this is really far-reaching, and it's going to really help us here. So they've raised 75% of their funds. Their goal is to get to $28 million. If you haven't donated, or you know somebody who can write a big check, Joe and Nancy Bill are in the room. Joe and Nancy Bill, by the way, stand up if you would, please. Come on. These people have spent more than a decade of their life with this project, and to have that kind of determination and to see it through to this, what we have now, my hat's off to you. Thank you. So again, they're expecting a soft opening projected for late summer or fall, so we're all excited about that. So again, the Park Place being completed and the International Dark Sky Discovery Center completes our campus back here and completes our downtown area, so we're really looking forward to this. And let me make one other point to you. These aren't Jerry's projects. I had very little to do with these. The council as a whole supported these projects. It's not me as an individual. I'm one vote. We need the council, and it's really the developers and the people behind it, like the Bills. They are the ones that are behind all this, and they're the ones that deserve the credit for this. It's not Jerry's project. This is the town's project. So I will never take credit for that, or the road construction, or anything else. This is a community effort to get this all done. We all support the community, and it shows. So that's really, really good stuff. So we appreciate that. Now, the final thing I'm going to talk about is you've seen a lot of sidewalks going in. So we probably have put in between 6 and 7 miles of new sidewalks. That's a lot of mileage, folks. We've received a $3 million grant, federal grant for that, which paid for most of it. We had very little that we had to put into that. That's huge because those sidewalks are going in areas where the public walks a lot. You saw it along Saguaro Boulevard, some of it along Palisades, some of it along South Saguaro Boulevard. Those are all places where people are walking from one destination to another, so it's good to get that done. It gets them up off the roadway and onto a sidewalk. It's a lot safer for everybody. So I've got 2 more quick things here. I've got the Mayor's Business Spotlight, which is a new initiative that I started. We had it at our last council meeting. We're going to highlight businesses in this town that have contributed to our community, have been around a while, and other criteria that we're going to use. So it's time that we recognize some of the businesses that have been here for a long time. Why not do that? So we appreciate, if you have a business and you're a business owner in here today, we appreciate the fact that you have your business in Fountain Hills. We wouldn't be here without these businesses. The sales tax revenue that they generate, it's over 50% of our revenue stream. So again, shop local, shop often, and do it as much as you can. My wife and I'll get into some details later on, we do that every single day. So I have people that joke with me and say, oh, you never eat at home. Well, that's true because we're always out in the community. Beginning in March, we're going to recognize a Veteran of the Month. So if there's veterans in this room, we have over 2,800 veterans that live in our town. So we want to do something to recognize them on a monthly basis. So starting in March, working with the American Legion and the VFW and the Marine Corps League, we're going to recognize a Veteran of the Month going forward. So I think it's a good thing. So right now, that's all I have to say at this moment. We're going to have a video that's going to introduce some of our town staff and some of our departments. So I'm going to have Mike cue that up, and I'm going to get out of the way.
2024 was a year of successful change for the town of Fountain Hills. First, I'm honored to have completed my first full year of service as your town manager. Next, we've added several new staff to our team at Town Hall.
With Paul Soldinger stepping in as Chief Financial Officer,
Mike Pelton as our new Community Relations Director, and Candace French-Contreras as our new Town Clerk. The year brought not only new faces, but also significant progress to our community. It marked the first year of our fire department operating under town management. As you will soon hear, we advanced key initiatives, including our push to revitalize our downtown district, enhancing amenities in our parks and recreation facilities, and also making improvements to streets all across town. Despite being a small team, Fountain Hills continues to deliver programs, services, and projects that our residents and our businesses have come to expect and value. Let's review some of our highlights from 2024.
In 2024, the town made significant improvements in enhancing our downtown corridor and making it a vibrant place to shop and visit throughout the year. Following the approved Community Economic Development Strategy, staff took on the process of updating our downtown strategy, with the downtown divided into 5 areas to address unique aspects of the area. Staff held focus group meetings, conducted a survey, and even hosted a public open house in May. A majority of those who took part want improved connectivity of downtown areas, shade, and more live music. The downtown strategy will focus on land use, infrastructure, economic vitality, and public spaces. The Town Council unanimously approved the updated downtown strategy in September. It had been more than 15 years since the last update. Going forward, staff is looking at policy changes such as creating flexible zoning districts to create unique and distinct areas throughout the downtown. The development of comfortable, shaded public spaces and enhanced sidewalks will also begin. After unveiling a new logo and branding for the town, in September, we were recognized nationally by the City County Communications and Marketing Association by receiving the Silver Circle Award for Graphic Design Art. This is excellent recognition on a national stage. Fountain Hills is known for its arts and culture. To elevate the arts, the town proclaimed October as Arts and Humanities Month, which included artist events and displays for the community to enjoy. Additionally, the very popular downtown placemaking mural program returned with 6 new murals installed across the community. Fountain Hills also welcomed a brand new and cutting-edge Regis workspace along Palisades. The newly modernized and large environment offers flexible workspace solutions, including office space, co-working areas, virtual offices, and much more. Last and certainly not least, the International Dark Sky Discovery Center celebrated 2 huge milestones in 2024. The groundbreaking of the facility marked the start of a much anticipated project for our dark sky community. And just last month, many of us gathered to watch crews lift and place the massive planetarium dome onto its foundation. This was incredible to watch and a big step forward in the project, with the center expected to open in late 2025.
The Community Services Department of Fountain Hills has made significant strides in 2024, continuing to build on its reputation as one of the nation's top parks and rec departments in the country. The department has expanded its programs and services to meet the evolving needs of the active community, supported by a dedicated staff that continually exceeds expectations. There are many key improvements for 2024. These include a state-of-the-art fitness park at Desert Vista, making it a modern park with enhanced recreational opportunities. An expanded picnic area at Fountain Park, adding a larger shaded picnic area, improving the outdoor experience for all visitors. The Centennial Circle was transformed into a Centennial Pavilion, featuring a large 80-foot shade structure with upgraded landscaping and new benches made from wind turbine blades. Four Peaks Park has been further enhanced with the addition of a new restroom and storage facility, thanks to a grant from Arizona State Parks and the Land and Water Conservation Fund. This improvement addresses a crucial need at the park, which is widely used by the community. The restrooms and storage facility were 95.6% funded through a grant. Special events like 4th at the Fountain, Irish Fountain Fest, and Music Fest continue to be a major draw, with 23 total events held in 2024, attracting over 40,000 attendees. The community center has seen significant upgrades, which has helped in creating 258 reservations and generating over $100,000 in revenue. Additionally, membership has grown by 18%, and over 34,000 people took part in the free programs offered to members. Volunteerism plays a vital role in the community, with over 670 volunteers providing critical services such as home-delivered meals, transportation assistance, and support for events like Make a Difference Day. Their efforts are instrumental in supporting residents in need and fostering a sense of community pride. Fountain Hills is not only a beautiful place to live, but it's a great place for events, programs, and facilities, thanks to the fantastic staff of the Community Services team.
Town of Fountain Hills had an excellent 2024, and I'd just like to go over some of the financial highlights for you. In 2024, with increased state shared revenues and increased investment earnings, the town brought in about $5.2 million more than our projected revenues in the general fund. And we also spent $3.9 million less than we budgeted, creating a positive variance in the town's general fund of $9.1 million of additional reserves to fund capital projects and to fund other programs for the town. Specifically, the town council strategically transferred $1 million into the future Lakeliner project reserves and $4 million for future streets paving projects. In total, the town has saved over $5 million for the Lakeliner project and has accumulated over $14 million for streets needs. Lastly, the town earned about $2.3 million of investment earnings, which continued to increase our reserves for future needs. Because of these factors and our conservative budgeting practices, the town is in excellent financial shape heading into 2025, despite some anticipated revenue losses. We have about $50 million as a town in combined reserves that the town will continue to use to provide critical services to our residents and to build long-term improvements for our town.
Good morning and welcome. My name is Justin Weldy. I am the Public Works Director for the Town of Fountain Hills. The Town of Fountain Hills Public Works Department takes pride in maintaining necessary infrastructure with limited financial resources, always on call. The department oversees roads, town-owned washes, open spaces, the environmental programs, flood control, solid waste collection, and recycling events. The Public Works Department is always responsible for the town facilities to ensure that they are secure and safe for residents and visitors. Every project in the Public Works Department is critical, but the ones that are most crucial are the ones called on by the residents and the council most frequently. This past year, the street department completed 10 lane miles of paving and added an additional 10 miles of bike lanes. We also added 7 new pedestrian crosswalks in the downtown area and other critical locations within the town. The sidewalk construction project on Saguaro Boulevard and Palisades Boulevard, partially funded by a $3 million federal grant, is progressing well, with approximately 75% of the work completed in 2024. Significant rain events in Fountain Hills often result in flooding of washes and roads, posing a serious threat to public safety and leading to erosion of critical structures, property damage, and disruption to neighborhoods. Recognizing the importance of mitigating these risks, the department has prioritized wash maintenance as a key element of its fire hazard and flood control strategies. Over the past year, more than 20 acres of wash clearing have been completed. A large-scale drainage improvement project is underway at Golden Eagle Park, which serves as key drainage impoundment area for 3 washes. The project involves enhanced drainage channels to increase their capacity to direct stormwater efficiently through the impoundment area to the Golden Eagle Dam. Additional upgrades include the construction of a new ADA-compliant pedestrian bridge that ties the south end of Golden Eagle Park to the north end of Golden Eagle Park. The Public Works Department is looking forward to 2025 and completing additional projects that have been selected by the Mayor and Council and a priority for the residents.
2024 has been another busy year for the Development Services Department managing growth in the town. The Planning Division continues to help maintain the town's plans and ordinances to guide development. In 2024, the main focus of the Planning Division was to update Chapter 2 of the zoning ordinance dealing with processes and procedures for zonings, site plans, special use permits. The Council has now approved updates to all those chapters. In the coming year, the town planning staff will be involved with other members of the town's team in developing the strategy for downtown improvements approved by Council in 2024. The Planning Division in particular will be working on a new overlay ordinance for the downtown area to help bring vitality and interest to this area. The Planning Division on a daily basis helps citizens as they come to the counter or call on the phone to understand the town's ordinances and development practices so they can get their land ready for development through platting, zoning, and special use permits. The Building Safety Division continues to guide the development of properties within the town. They review the building permits, they issue the permits, and monitor construction throughout the process. During 2024, the Building Safety Division reviewed over 900 building permits and did over 5,500 inspections. The Code Enforcement Division works to help maintain property within the town. They work with citizens to understand the town's ordinances and development requirements and monitor development to ensure compliance with things such as parking, vegetation, property maintenance, storage on properties. The Code Enforcement Division is currently looking at all the nuisance and property maintenance standards within the town codes to reorganize and consolidate them into one place so that they are easier to find and more usable and understandable by citizens. Finally, the town's GIS division continues to work to maintain the accuracy of our maps and data that help in the planning process and tracking development as it occurs. They also work closely with the engineering department with various public works departments, including improvements to streets and sidewalks.
We're here in the beginning of January 2025 and looking back at the first year of Fountain Hills Fire Department. We started midnight, December 31st, 2023, rolled right into 12:01 on New Year's Day, and we've been running ever since. It's been a good start. We're lucky enough to partner with Mesa Regional Dispatch Center for our dispatches, and it's been great from the start. The increase in our ability to have state-of-the-art dispatch has been huge, something that we hadn't had previously. We've run over 6,000 calls since we've been Fountain Hills Fire, a lot of what we would expect. Run a lot of snake calls last year. I think it was a good season for the snakes. We were up over 1,000 calls. We're able to run a couple people through medic school at the Mesa Fire Medic Academy, and all went well. We've got 2 brand new medics with us. We've been able to go out to a couple different mechanic shops to get our apparatus taken care of and back up into tip-top running condition, and all that apparatus was owned by the town. So part of that transition was relatively easy and not having to buy new equipment. We're still maintaining a good relationship with American Medical Response, or AMR, for our ambulances. We're keeping them busy. I think good things moving forward in 2025. We're looking to make an application for automatic aid, which is a little bit different than the mutual aid agreements that we have now. The automatic aid will dispatch the closest appropriate piece of equipment for whatever the call is. So if we were to run into any other major fires, we would have automatic responses instead of having to go to Scottsdale or Phoenix Dispatch and ask for additional units, or have Mesa ask for additional units for us. I think that our continual growth with the continual growth of the town is kind of on line with each other, and we're in a great position to move forward into the next couple of years. And it's a constant evaluation of where we're at, where we want to be, and how we're going to get there.
Good morning, I'm Captain Larry Kratzer with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, the town's law enforcement provider. 2024 was a busy year for MCSO. We enforce state laws, town ordinances, investigates criminal allegations, and protects life and property as we maintain order. Our deputies have established a strong working relationship with a number of community partners to provide additional resources to the area's residents. A new Fountain Hills Lockbox program provides access to homes during medical emergencies and peace of mind to residents who subscribe to this free service. In 2024, more than 389 pounds of unwanted, expired, or unused prescription medications were disposed of by the Community Prescription Drug Depository and sent for destruction. Our deputies and deputy service aides were able to conduct several community service outreaches: Coffee with the Cop, Shop with the Cop, the Back to School Bash, and Trick or Treat Night, as well as taking part in Make a Difference Day. In addition, we took part in a robust vacation crime watch program, which ensured homes left unoccupied by our winter visitors remain safe and secure. School Resource Deputy Hampton was able to obtain her certification from the National Association of School Resource Officers and DARE program, and will soon be teaching the DARE program to Fountain Hills students. MCSO's commitment to the safety of motorists, bicyclists, and pedestrians resulted in more than 2,000 traffic stops. In total, we responded to nearly 6,000 calls for service, and we look forward to 2025 and another year keeping our residents and this community safe.
You can see there's a lot going on in this town. And we have a lot of good partners, SRP being one of them, and our other water company, and other partners as well. And you know, we're very fortunate to have great fire protection and great police protection in this town. And before I forget, there's a couple of dates I just want to remind people of. Coffee with the Mayor, February 6th is coming up, and we also have one set up for March 14th. February 6th will be at Mountain View Kitchen, and March 14th will be at Phil's Filling Station. And we've got the Art and Craft Fair coming up, as well as the Concourse in the Hill coming up in February as well. So make sure you mark your calendars for those. So now I'd like to go over where we're headed. When I was running for office, I came out with a 100-day pledge to the residents of this town. That's never been done in the history of this town before. Why did I do that? I put myself out there for accountability. I want you to know what's going on in this town. This is your town. You have the right to know what's going on in your town. So I'm going to be held accountable, and I'm sure there's people in this audience that are going to hold me accountable as well. So let me go through some of the highlights and where we're at right now so that you have an idea as to where I've been, what I've been doing. The first thing on here is to create a law enforcement advisory panel. Why do we need to do that? We need to look at numbers to see if it makes sense to have our own department. I had a conversation with, and I did meet with the new sheriff, Jerry Sheridan, and I was honest and transparent with him, and I told him we were going to do that. And he said, good. He said, that's a healthy thing to do. And Jerry, you know what? I really appreciated that response because it's honest, and I know you have this town's best interest at heart when you say that to me. So that advisory committee has been set. Some of the members are in this room today, and they will be meeting in early February. A couple of the gentlemen are out of town right now. So that's going to happen. We're going to look at it and see what makes sense. And we'll find out we're getting a good deal from MCSO, probably, but we still want to do that. We have to have a backup plan, and Jerry's all on board with that. I did meet with the new sheriff. It was a frank and tough meeting. We both know that there's things that we need, that we want in this town with that contract. Jerry has pledged to work with us and to help us meet some of those standards that we're looking for. I want to also point out something. In no way does this disparage Captain Kratzer and his staff of frontline deputies that patrol our streets and take care of this town. This is administrative. It has nothing to do with these deputies. They do a great job for this town with what they've got. So it's important that you review these contracts. Public safety is over 50% of our general fund, so we have to look at this, look at these contracts from time to time and find out if we're getting what we're paying for. So again, that's part of the process, reviewing contracts for the local vendor use and cost savings that take place. That's one of my pledges on here. Just so you know, we used a local vendor to provide your nourishment for today, and also these flyers that you see, local vendor. The town has used over 200 local vendors for their business, and we continue to pledge to do that. It just makes good business sense for our town to do that. Saving for the lake liner. You know, it's important that we put money away for big projects that are coming up. Before I got on the town council, we didn't have money saved for the lake liner. I went to Grady Miller, the former town manager, and I said, look, I think we need to start budgeting every year to have money put away for that lake liner. We know at some point it's gonna fail on us. Just so you know, we did a test last year, and we're in good shape. So before I got on the town council, we had nothing. He said, that's a great idea. So we started saving money. We've got over $5 million saved right now, and we plan on making another deposit to that savings account, I'll call it, for that lake liner. The estimates right now are anywhere around $14 million. How could we possibly go to the residents of this town and say, we've done nothing? We're preparing for that. So if everything works out, hopefully we'll have 75 to 90% of that money saved, and we won't have to go to the town residents and say, hey, you need to come up with $14 million in a bond or something like that to replace that lake liner. That project's going to be huge, and we really don't know for sure what the cost is going to be by the time we need it. So I just want you to know we're being responsible. We're not going to ask you to do that without doing it ourselves. So I think that's important going forward. I made a pledge to meet with the town finance team and the town manager to prioritize and look at all options available for road repairs and maintenance. And I want to say my hats off again to Paul and to Rachel for coming up with some good ideas, looking at different types of bonds that this town can use to get road work done and get caught up on some of the $40 million worth of backlog road work that we've got. We're doing everything we can right now, and we're going to have continued conversations on that, but we have to come up with a way to address that backlog before it gets to a point where we can't address it. So we've got some ideas, and we're going to continue to talk about that, the options that are available. And again, we're going to make that public so it's transparent, and every resident in this town will know what we're doing with that. Meetings with some of our big providers. We had a meeting with Cox Communication on the 28th. We met with Republic Services on the 27th. We met with EPCOR on the 27th, and we met with SRP on the 16th of January. These meetings some of them were tough, some of them were frank, some of them were very nice. We appreciate all of your partnership with this town, but we want to set the tone for good communications with our residents and to make sure that our service disruptions are at a minimum, and if there is a service disruption, that everybody, including the town, knows about these disruptions. So I think we made that point clear, and going forward, we're looking for improved communications if there is a service disruption. But for the most part, we have good providers, and we're thankful for what they do for our town. Economic Development Advisory Committee. That committee has been established. In fact, there was a meeting yesterday. So it was our first meeting. Good things were talked about and a good direction for this town. A couple of the focuses on that committee are looking at vacancies in this town and also bringing in an anchor employer in this town. So there'll be more communication on that, and there's several of those members are in this room today. We appreciate your taking your time for your town. That is so huge and so important. And they're not counted in the volunteer numbers that you gave here, but they should be. To do that for your town, it says a lot about what you think about your town and why you're here. We're all here for the same reason. So again, we appreciate the fact that you're stepped up to do that for us. So I had a pledge to meet with all the directors from the various departments. In fact, I've got a meeting with a couple of them shortly after this meeting today. We have met with 6 or 7 now of directors from the various departments in this town. Now, why would you do that? Well, you would do that to find out what's working, what isn't working. Do you need additional tools? Are we transparent enough? Do you need help in other areas? So I have to say that those meetings were really educational for me. I learned a lot more about what's going on behind the scenes in this town. That's important for a mayor to know that. You learn a lot as a council member, but there's even more that you see when you're dealing with these people one-on-one on a daily basis. So I appreciate the staff taking the time and meeting with me and being honest with me about what's going on in the town. We have a good town, we have a good staff, and we're going to continue to work hard for the residents of this town. I just want you to know that you've got good people in good places here, so we appreciate that. The monthly coffee with the mayor has been established, as I mentioned before. We've got one coming up on February 6th and then one on March 14th. And we look forward to the residents coming in with questions, concerns, criticisms. We don't hide, we're transparent. So we look forward to that happening. The next thing on the list is visit 100 businesses in 100 days. So my 100 days isn't quite up yet. I've still got roughly another month. But I've got a list of 94 businesses that we've been in. My wife and I, Barb, who's in the room, sitting right over there. I'll be glad to show this to anybody at the end of the meeting. I won't go over this list right now, but there's a reason we do that. We like our community. We support every business we can. This isn't a political thing. This is a town thing. So we go into all types of business. And in fact, the business initiative, somebody had reported, well, he's probably just taking donations from those businesses. That's why he's recognizing them. Let me be clear about this. I have not taken a donation from any business in this town, nor would I ask for it. And I would never put a business in that type of position. So we've got businesses from both sides of the street that we're going to be recognizing in upcoming. I think, Amanda, what do we have, 6 or 7 scheduled coming up? Yeah. So again, this is for our community. It's not about me. It's not about a political thing. It's thriving business community, and I think the chamber would go along with that as well. So again, I'll show you the list if you want to see it. But anyway, the final thing on my list of my pledge is government transparency. Why is that important? Because you have the right to know, let me correct that, you have the moral right to know what's going on in your town. This is your town. You don't have anybody else to represent you but your mayor and your council. So I think that's important. We haven't had any executive session, closed door meetings yet. I don't see any on the horizon. You never know, things can change. We started with a transparency issue with a report that was kept out of the hands of the public, dealing with the 5G ordinances that we're looking to work here. And let me make this clear about the 5G ordinance. We are not doing a 5G ordinance to prohibit 5G towers from coming into this town. Come into this town, work under the ordinance. It's pretty simple. We're not restricting anybody. We're not saying you can't do it here. So you paid for that report, as one of our council members pointed out in the meeting. So you should be able to see it. So we're going to take care of things like that if we can and make sure that everybody knows what's going on in their town. So I just want to say Mike's going to come up now and close out the meeting. I'm humbled to be standing here in front of you, and I'm glad to be able to share information with you about where we're headed in the future with our contract with MCO and MCSO, and we're going to do what's right for the town, and we're going to get what we're paying for, and we've got the commitment from the partners to continue good communication for our residents. I think that's just important going forward so everybody knows what's going on. So again, thank you, and Mike's going to come up and close up the meeting.
All right, how'd you do? Good job? You know, and for his first one, you don't realize, I kept asking him for the past couple of weeks if he had a script. Nope, did a lot of that just off of notes and handwriting and really just laying out his vision for the town. So Mayor, appreciate your time this morning. And I want to thank everybody. I know the roads were a little wet. It was a little dark when you had to drive up here this morning, but thanks for coming out. And along the back, I think there's still a little bit of food. Hopefully there's still coffee left if you want to grab something before you go. And we hope to see you next year. But thank you all for coming this morning.